Hey y'all, Big D here with a little bit more in-depth info on this repair on this Titan 3515 Batwing. I got this little extension reinstalled. You might be asking, well, why'd you use that 8010, or what is an 8010? Well, it's a downhill rod. It's got a lot of penetration. It will dig in as you're welding. It'll clean out the trash that might be there. Now, whenever I cut all that off of there, I ground it, got all the old weld out of there. I went back to the base metal, that plate there, so it was nice and smooth and shiny. So I really wasn't having to clean anything, but I wanted that penetration of that 8010. And you might be asking, well, where do you get that? Well, you can't really get it at Tractor Supply. The nearest equivalent would be a 6011, which is comparable. I just had some 8010 on the welding trailer, and that's what I used, but otherwise I would have used a 6011. And the difference in the numbers is 20,000 pounds of tensile strength. That 60 is 60,000 pounds, the 80 is 80,000 pounds. So there's a difference of 20. No big deal, especially considering this application. Again, it's just what I had on my rig. Doesn't really matter in this kind of setting. Really, where it really matters is in the world that I used to come from, pipelining and building power plants and compressor stations and stuff like that. After I got done doing my 8010 passes, I built it out a little bit. It's a fillet weld, so I built it out some, and then I capped it with a 7018. And you can see that, you know, I need to get my hand back in it, you know, do it every day, and it gets slicker, but I'm pretty happy with it, pretty satisfied with it. Yeah, there's a little bit undercut, you know, whatever. It's not gonna do anything detrimental. My rule of thumb on how big to make this is a fillet weld right here. You know, basically you've got this straight surface, that straight surface, and then this is the throat, and this is a fillet weld. So I made my fillet weld kind of in between this plate thickness here and the thickness of this piece. I didn't want to go as thin as this and then have it rip off, and there's no point to making it that thick because I'm gonna have to grind it off here so that my jack can slide on there. So, you know, there's this kind of happy medium. You have to play with it. I mean, have fun welding it out, but just know that if you continue to make this throat larger, that you're going to come out farther on this, which then your jack's not going to be able to slide over it. So then you're going to have to grind it back, kind of like I did. And when you grind it back, lay your wheel flat on this shaft here. You don't want to go this way, because then you end up cutting a groove in this shaft, and that's going to weaken this shaft, and it's going to rip, and the weld will be left there. So you want to run your wheel flat and just kind of bump this first part of this weld here, and that's just going to kind of push it back a little bit all the way around, and then test fit it, make sure it fits properly. Another thing, when you have these mowers at the end of the season, clean those things off. I mean, spend some time cleaning them off, get all of that junk off of there. I try to do it during the season, but the reality is it accumulates so quickly. So, you know, but clean it off, because it's going to sit there for a few months, and you don't want all that grass mounted up on top of there to decompose on your deck. I mean, it's gonna peel no matter what you do, but you can keep your deck from rotting out quicker if you will blast all that stuff off of there. Lift these shrouds up, clean up underneath all that stuff, lift your hydraulic hoses, clean up underneath all that stuff, go back there, clean all that stuff. I mean, clean it. If you take care of your equipment, it will take care of you. And by taking care of you, I mean not need to be replaced nearly as frequently. Y'all have a good one.